Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater. Today, we're going to be talking about the American Shrimp Contest. Shelby has had quite the week, and I'm giving her the night off, so it'll just be me. I'm going to go over how to enter the contest, how to ship your shrimp into the contest, how we judge the contest, and then answer any questions on anything I missed. And going to go through the new website. So just give me 1 second. And I hope everyone had a better week than I did. It's already a crazy Monday, but here we go. We got a brand new website. Main reason for this is Aquashella is got quite enough going on. And they do a lot of revamping and different contests, and it's just one of those things where the shrimp contest isn't on their priority. And now with the American Shrimp Contest being its own website, we have more control. We can, get the dates out there with the entries and registration open all at the same time, and be better prepared moving forward with it all being in one place. And not only that, but not every time, but in some instances with the Aquashella website, it's been a little bit hard to navigate. There's been a couple times where some stuff got mixed up. So hopefully now everything runs a little bit smoother with its own website. So that's kind of the reason behind it. And if you see right at the top, registration for Chicago now, the deadline is at the end of the month, July 31st, 2024. And we just got the register now open. Our purpose, the American Shrimp Contest, is a competition for Neocaridina and Caridina shrimp breeders in the U.S., showcasing the best in shrimp community. This event raises awareness for shrimp keeping and offers breeders a platform to display their dedication and expertise. And basically summing that up is there's a lot bigger contests out there, and we'd like to get the Americans ready so that way we can enter the international contest and show that the hobby here is quite as strong as it can be in other parts of the world. So let's start off with how to enter. There's a couple different links to click on, and basically pops up. The first thing you see is contest categories. Category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7. Category 1 is Neocaridina, all colors, everything from red cherry to orange rillies, green emeralds. My favorite for this category would be like a green rilly. It's a little bit newer, a little bit harder to work with. And then you got category 2 is Caridina crystals, all colors and grades, everything from pure red line to super crystal blacks, pure white line, golden bees. These are all going to be category 2. Category 3 is the Taiwan bee category, red bolts, blue bolts, red King Kongs, black King Kongs, shadow Mizuras, shadow pandas. All of the double pigment pure Taiwan bees will be in category 3. And category 4 is Caridina tiger variants, and these are pure tigers, not been crossbred with any of the bee varieties. So you've got orange eye blue tigers, red tigers, super tigers, black tiger, orange eyed, red tiger, blue body. So as long as they're a pure tiger, that's the category that they go in. And then category 5 is the Thai bee category. And these are where you cross your tigers with your bees and you get your fancy tigers. You'd also enter like yellow King Kongs into this category as well. But fancy tigers, red or black, are pretty much going to dominate this category unless somebody enters something totally new in the Thai bee category of shrimp. And then we have Caridina crossbreeds, all colors and patterns, eye morphs. So this is hollow-eyed red ghost, black ghost, red eye, orange eye, yellow eye, silver eye. As long as it's not, the normal eye pattern with the black pupil, then it will be going into this category, except for the orange-eyed blue, orange-eyed blue tigers, orange-eyed black tigers, and red tigers. Those are all pure tigers. So this is the category for the crossbreeds. In category 7 is going to be Caridina Tai B. This is basically going to be the Pinto and Nanashi, Galaxy Pinto, Galaxy Tiger. All of those are going to go into this category. Boas and like the purple metallics, those are pretty much a dominant for this category, and usually category 7 takes all the marbles home with best of show. Every now and then there's like a really nice fancy red tiger, but category 7's where a lot of the harder work ends up going into the shrimp. So all the shrimp must be all United States shrimp hobbyists are eligible to participate with their own homebred shrimp groups that match with the list categories above. By completing registration, the participant affirms that the shrimps they show are shrimp that they have bred and raised themselves. In case of reasonable doubt, oh my God, I'm sorry. I got a little to no sleep last night. I'll talk about that later. But the participant in question is disqualified. In this case, the registration fees are not refunded. Basically, make sure you're entering your own homebred shrimp that are bred by yourself, not something you purchased, raised up, and entered into the group. A lot of times, the easiest way to tell if the person's bred or not is just ask them for a picture of the colony. If your breeding colony of fancy red tigers that entered in the contest and you only have 10 adults all together to show and no cull tanks or babies or anything else like that, then chances are you bought that. But if you can show that, hey, I got these purchased at this time and this is my colony and look at all the babies, or at least a couple different groups of batches of different size shrimp, just to show that it wasn't all one purchase group. And then the groups are $25 per group. The entry fee paid during registration. Each participant may enter a maximum of 2 sets of shrimp per category. I'm not going to read out all of this word for word, but basically the shrimp are going to have 3 to 5 shrimp in each group for each category, and you can only enter 2 groups in each category. The shrimp should be around 3 centimeters in size, or 3/4 to an inch in size. Anything less than that, you're pretty much going to get points deducted, and I'll show you that more. And then, like, if a buried shrimp is entered and they release their offspring into the contest, the participant is responsible for catching them after the contest is over. If you're not there, I mean, we'll do our best to try and catch them, but we do have like a time crunch at the end of the show to tear everything down and, catching every single tiny baby shrimp that's, pretty hard to see with the naked eye throughout all the gravel. We don't normally have the time for that, and they're not necessarily going to survive the shipment back guaranteed. So also to note, shrimp with like any sort of ELO or visible parasite infection, short skirt, or like balloon head, hunchback, or anything like that, that's pretty much going to get you disqualified for having unhealthy shrimp. Deadlines: entries must be purchased by the end of the month, and then your shrimp must be turned in. So Wednesday would be July 31st, Thursday would be the 1st, and then the 2nd would be Friday. All of the shrimp must be handed in or shipped in Friday by 5 p.m. That way we make sure that all the shrimp are in the tanks. We do get, a time limit on Friday that we get to be in the expo before they kick everybody out. Kind of prevents anybody from stealing, and booths have anything missing and can't point any fingers or anything like that. So we get them in by 5 o'clock, and that way we have time to acclimate them. And then overnight, they kind of get settled, adjust to the water parameters. And then Saturday morning is when we judge them. You kind of want to give them as much time as possible for the shrimp to kind of get settled in and get acclimated for the contest. However, you can't give them too much time because some shrimp might not like that water too much, and you want shrimp to get the best chance. And if a shrimp does die, too many of them die, then that entry gets DQ'd, and we want to make sure that all the shrimp do get the best shot at being judged. So we do feel like Thursday, set up, get all the tanks ready. Friday, all the shrimp go into the tanks. That way the water has enough time to acclimate. There isn't pH swings and TDS swings with the minerals being fully dissolved into the water and stuff. And then on Friday night, they all just get settled, adjusted, and they should look almost 100% by the time the judges come around on Saturday. You want to make sure you don't enter more than 5 shrimp or less than 3 shrimp, because then you'll get disqualified as well. Shrimp pickup will be at the end of the day, starting at 5 p.m. on Sunday. It must be picked up no later than 6 p.m. If you haven't contacted one of us to have your shrimp handed off to somebody or arranged for them to be shipped off with somebody, then we will find a volunteer that helps us run the contest to donate them. If you don't want to pick up your shrimp or have them shipped back, you can also donate them to some of the volunteers. We got Malcolm and Chevy Fish that are regulars in our chat channel that will be helping us in Chicago. Also, cool little thing is we have a volunteer tab where you can sign up to be a volunteer, and it gets you VIP tickets to the show. So that way you don't have to pay for admission. You can help out behind the scenes, get to enjoy the show before it even starts, or during the show, or at Teardown. You can check off what little box you like, or all of them if you want, and be able to help out at the contest. Even if you don't know about shrimp, this would be a great way to get involved and learn quite quickly from a lot of the experts that will be around at the show. Not just myself and Shelby, but we also have Crypt Keeper, Mimic Nature, and the Bloomfields, as well as Rob Flip Aquatics. So I briefly talked about the contest rules and registration, but this is where you would ship them off to attention Adam Clayton Shrimp Contest. That way the box will make it to the contest, and then we start accepting the boxes on Wednesday, and then no later than Friday. So what I recommend is you ship the boxes like priority flat rate USPS on Monday. That way they should get there on Wednesday or Thursday. If you're doing overnight, I would ship overnight on Tuesday or Wednesday. That way they do get there either on Thursday or Friday. And then if you ship them on Thursday overnight and they are, delayed, then sadly they won't be judged into the contest necessarily. We do our best to try and get last minute entries in. We want, again, fair chance for everybody to get into the contest, and you can't control how the shipments go and stuff like that. So if it's possible to get the shrimp in, but they don't necessarily have the best chance because they haven't had time to settle and get out of that shipping stress. So judges for this show are Ryan Holland, Rob Bloomfield, and then I am still waiting to hear back from Clemente Lewis on whether or not he will be able to enter into the contest. Not enter, but be at the contest or not. And if he isn't, then we do have a backup. But the judges basically score all the shrimp in the contest. We have 3 judges, and then we take an average of all of the scores. And what the judges do is they judge the best 3 out of 5 shrimp. So even if you don't have 5 top-notch shrimp, but you have 3, I still recommend throwing in your 2 best backups just in case something does happen. Your group won't get disqualified, and it still will get judged. And then, yeah, each category will be assessed by the judges at 2 p.m. on Sunday. We do a little award ceremony, and then the overall best of show winner gets $250 cash prize. First, second, and third of each category will also get an award, and then best of show and people's choice get plaques. And then the water parameters, basically, we do our best to make sure that the tap water is acceptable. If it's not, we will mix minerals. We are using the Shrimply minerals from Flip Aquatics. I know that's not the right name. I'm sorry, Flip. But they just launched their own line of shrimp products, so their minerals are what we will be using. Usually we do 220 TDS for Neocaridina and 130 TDS for Caridina. Of course, the Caridina will not get KH. And then I think we're using Brightwell substrate to get the pH down to the appropriate levels for this show. And then we have filters, the Dymax filters left over from the last show that we could use for filtration, and making sure that all of the tanks get proper oxygen and the pH is brought down and maintained to a nice, stable, low pH. And then pretty much that, I believe, is everything. I don't believe I'm forgetting anything either. Let's jump back over here. We got the fish tank barn. Mike with the $20. Man, thank you. Appreciate that. I really enjoyed this weekend. The beginning of the week has been grind, get everything done, not just for your visit, but also this starts the first week of many, many shows for us in a row, back to back to back. So it's kind of like my last opportunity to go through the house, make sure everything gets a deep clean. And I did the fronts of the glass as well as full algae removal, duckweed removal, at least the best I could, right? And went through and fully cleaned out all the sponge filters. I didn't get to all the rooms, Jaden's room and Layla's room. They're pretty much still looking good. Like, it's hard to see through some of the glass, but the water's crystal clear and all the shrimp are actually booming and breeding really well. So I think they were the last tanks to actually get done and gone through. So Carrie says, have you seen the green venom shrimp? I got a great line of high-grade red neos from the same breeder. Curious of your thoughts on the green venom line. So like I've seen the green venom. I've also seen it like a green cantaloupe. Honestly, when you've been breeding green jades for so long, there's so many different phenotypes that pop out, and I've seen both like the same style green as the green venom and same line of green as the cantaloupes. I've posted some pictures of them, the cantaloupes especially. I really like those. I never really have enough of them to get a breeding colony, but I don't produce mass numbers like they do overseas. So it's very easily just like the Red Riding Hoods, where they go through the red rillies and they go through and cull. And some of them have those characteristics that are kind of ideal. And some people might fancy them, and they separate those. It's just like how they do with koi fish, where they seine an entire pond. They go through and catch all the fish, and they put these type in this little jar and these type in another jar. And it's smart because they're sorting them so that way they can sell them for the most money. I did say Ryan Hoagland as a judge. I believe he was the first one I said as a judge. But yeah, they're definitely cool. Whether or not they breed true, they're imports in the United States. Nobody's really gotten them to breed. So I usually wait for somebody else to get their hands on it. If Shelby is back there pressing buttons, question, have y'all tested the Dymax substrate yet? I finally opened mine, and it's for sure raising my KH. I don't think it's supposed to do that. All right, now, we had to do a little bit of magic trick with the last contest to lower the pH because we used Dymax substrate for the contest. We didn't lose a single shrimp in Dallas. I just want to lay that all out there for the shrimp contest. Not a single loss in the contest. And the reason because of that is the Dymax substrate was exactly doing what you're thinking it's doing. It was releasing KH. I tested at a pet store before I got my hands on it, tested it here at the house, and got the exact same results. However, when you add in some other aqua soil like Shrimp King that absorbs a little bit of KH for a while, then they kind of counteracted one another, and we were able to actually maintain a stable low pH for at least the 3 days while the shrimp were in the tanks for the contest. I kind of expressed how the substrate works to one of their distributors, but whether or not they relayed that on to Dymax, I haven't told them that yet exactly, but it for sure is not a shrimp substrate. But they told me that it got soft, and I had scaped it with you guys at Aquafest last year, and I was like, that stuff was like rock hard. I don't know how that stuff gets soft, but when we went to the pet store and I tested it there, sure enough, it was soft. And I do have a tank with it. I threw some tiger shrimp in there. I am testing it out to see if it'll work for those guys. I do like the look of it. I can't lie there, but yeah, it releases KH. It's not good for Caridina. Tigers maybe not so much. All right, Coro. I'm waiting for Shelby to read it. That's how out of it I am. But yes, also, Steven, the other part of that, Shelby is in the bedroom and bringing up the comments as I read them very slowly and poorly. All right. If you had one thing people were guaranteed to remember from this stream, what would you want it to be? Pretty much that the American Shrimp Contest is for beginners. So if you haven't entered into a contest yet before and you're worried about it, or you think that, oh, I don't have anywhere near the quality of shrimp that are being entered, if you got them from a decent breeder and you bred them one time, they are now yours. You don't need to breed them out 3 or 4 generations. And if you've removed the ugly ones, chances are the pretty ones are going to be good enough if you get them to large enough size. So if you've got some big, colossal monster shrimp and they look somewhat decent, throw them in the contest, see how they do. Even if they don't do good, you can get your judges' feedback and figure out what you need to do to improve your shrimp so that way you can do better next year. And it really is overall a good experience, win or lose. If you do win, you do end up getting a good, decent reputation for yourself. And the shrimp that you win with the contest, those are award-winning shrimp. Everybody knows award-winning things sell for more money and are in more demand. And that is 100% true in the case of why we've been so successful. My dog, Toop, thank you so much for the 5 Garden of Eden memberships. Shelby's not here. I don't have her hair to pull out any of the stickers or anything like that, but make sure if you got one of those memberships to email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com. Send us your address. We will send you a all-exclusive TGOE holographic sticker as well as a 10% off code to our website, tgoeshrimp.com. Appreciate that too, dog. Any more questions about the contest? I'm going to try and scroll down. Oh, it seems like Shelby is messaging underneath the Garden of Eden too. So this is all too confusing now. Richard says, I'm available this week. Just saying, if you still need my help. The only problem is, Richard, we have tomorrow to get caught up with sending out the rest of the packages. Today was a fiasco. I'll dive into today in just a little bit, but we're getting ready for the Louisiana trip. So Wednesday we'll be bagging up shrimp, and tomorrow night we're pretty much going to get all the plants ready for the Louisiana show. I gotta still add a couple of pictures onto the slideshow since we've upgraded a couple of things around the house. I like to upgrade the slides for each show, so it's always different. If you've ever seen it before, you never know what you're going to see next time. So I do need your help. The following week would be better. Yeah, thank you, Toot Dog. For 15 months, you've been a great supporter. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right, so we've had, I'll just talk about the rough day today, and then I'll talk about what we had in the past couple of weeks. This morning, this isn't the rough part. Woke up to drop off Mike Howie at the airport. Not Howie. I'm so sorry, Mike. It's just Mike Howe. Sorry. Super tired. It's been a rough one. Woke up, drove him to the airport. I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not a morning person. Got him, hit some Mickey D's, dropped him off at the airport around 7 o'clock. And then from the airport, I went over to Johnny Rootweaver's house. He's got an incredible collection of aquariums for being in the hobby for 1 year. I think he's up. I don't think they're all set up, but he's up to like 140 aquariums. But like most of them are set up, and all of the big ones are set up. And the amount of fish that this kid has is crazy. The variety that he has is crazy. And I'm calling him a kid. I call myself a kid. It's just because I haven't thought of myself as grown up yet, right? And he's just a little bit younger than I am. So it's just incredible to see somebody come that far in just 1 year. See how passionate he is, and the way he just raffles off all of the Latin scientific names for all the fish that he has. It was quite impressive. So yeah, the morning started off quite good. It was a nice day to that point, and then driving home, made it home just fine. Walked through the door, got started with my day. The neighborhood kids knocked on the door across the street. I was like, excellent. The kids are going to go outside. They'll be out of my way. I can catch all the shrimp in the house, no problem, without having to worry about them. And then they come back inside within 5 minutes to tell me that their basketball hoop was stolen. So had to call the sheriff's office and check some of the cameras from some of the houses up the road to see if we couldn't get lucky and get one of the license plates or the license plate number from the truck that did it. It's crazy because like we don't even have the nicest basketball hoop on the street. So why would they steal ours? And it's a kid's basketball hoop. So I just hope that their kids needed something for a birthday or something like that, and it's going to some kids, and then it just end up as like $5 scrap because like that basketball hoop had probably not even $5 worth of scrap. So I imagine someone just running around scrapping might steal it, but I would have given them more than that just not to steal it. You know what I'm saying? So that took up way too much of our time today. And then with everything else going on, orders and whatnot, got a couple of water changes that I had to make sure I got done. So the plants and the tanks and everything would look good when we went to Louisiana. But how you doing? Benny Tay from Shrimp Sanctuary said, how do I apply to be a U.S. citizen? I don't know. I can ask my dad. I can really tell some people grew up without an immigrant father with a green card that relied on them to stay in the United States because they got no hustle. You just got to find, one of the, well, in America, it doesn't have to be a girl either now. You just find another shrimp nerd here in the States and get married to them, and then you got citizenship. Tell him to bring over all the shrimp. Maybe Crypt Keeper can work out a deal with you. Oh, Toop Dog. Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it. $50 towards the kid's new hoop. I wasn't saying that to get any sympathy or any donations. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I was probably going to buy a new hoop for the kids and figure out a way to put it out back. We do have a lot of plants on pavers, and I would feel more comfortable with the kids being out back and then running around out front and playing in the road. But man, thank you, Toop Dog. I appreciate that. And I hope that the people brought it to other kids and some other kids are enjoying it. So the day wasn't all bad. We did get some Thai food, but then Shelby was like, "We should get some pizza," and I was like, "Yes, absolutely. Pizza sounds good. It's easy with the day we've been having. Let's grab some pizza." Because I said yes that fast, because next door to the pizza place is one of my favorite ice cream places. And I know Shelby doesn't like it, but I love it. They rotate all of their flavors. It's some good stuff. And anytime I go to pick up pizza, I go and grab myself a pint of that delicious homemade ice cream. But they were closed on Monday, and I forgot about that with everything going on and the lack of sleep. So, yeah, my day was not that nice. Other than going to Johnny's house and, I had an hour conversation with Mike, going over everything, talking about the trip, and good conversation. So it wasn't all bad today. Had some good Thai food. But yesterday was a day and a half. Woke up to some bad news. Not going to go over that, but powered through it. And Robert from Ray Aquatics saved the day. Basically, somebody canceled on us, and I had to find somebody that was in the northern part of Florida that had a epic fish room so that Mike could go ahead and do a little tour video. He was our speaker on Saturday for the Aquatic Club of Pasco County, and phenomenal talk. Really enjoyed it, and it was on Gadeids and other live bearers. We haven't had a guppy talk or a live bear talk in a really long time. The club was due for one. We've got Greg Sage coming next month. Mike put it said it the best way, is that his talk was like a little appetizer for Greg Sage. I don't really know who or how big Greg Sage really is, but I'll take Mike's word on it. And a lot of his, recommendations in the end were for Greg Sage on where to learn and where to buy some of the live bearers from. So, he said Greg Sage will be the main course, but I don't know Greg. I know Mike. So I thoroughly enjoyed hanging out with him. We picked him up from the airport Friday night, delay after delay, sent him back. So we weren't able to hang out. We weren't able to get Papa Clyde ice cream for him. So I was super bummed about that. We'll have to get him back down here one day, and we'll bring him to Papa Clyde's for sure. But we had the talk on Saturday morning. Great turnout. 464 bags at the auction. If you haven't been to a Pasco Aquatic Club and you live in the Florida state, you have to make it out to one. The auction alone is worth it. If not, we've got an epic speaker for you. And we got out of there around 2:00, I think, and then headed over to the house. We did have majority of the house is looking better than it did when Nick Mann was here. And then, like I said, Jaden's room, Layla's room, the hallway didn't get done. And then he wasn't really able to see the garage all that well. I'm not able to really move in the garage all that well. Just to go turn on the lights in the morning and turn them off, I have to do some rock climbing. I got to go over boxes of Carib Sea substrate and Pisces substrate and wood and all sorts of gravel, rock, and other things that are piled up in the garage. We're running out of room there simply because we're holding a bunch of tanks that need to go on the new rack. Once the new rack's done, I'll have more room than I know what to do with. I just need time to build the rack. I didn't think I'd be able to get it done before Mike got here. I tried to do it. Something else came up, prevented me from getting that done in time. So focused on cleaning out the house. And I am looking forward to seeing Mike's video. I know he's going to wait until September to get that done. So he's got a lot of footage, and he wants to wait till season for YouTube, which starts around fall for him, for everyone. What am I talking about? But after that, we went to the Korean hot pot. That is my spot. I like to take all the speakers. Ryan from Wild Fish Tanks joined us. It was a great little dinner. Mike had a blast, really enjoyed it, and then dropped him off. No, we came back to the house and filmed everything inside. Before hot pot, we did everything outside. And then after hot pot, I was like, now for the hard part, Mike. And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, filming with full stomachs, because hot pot is all you can eat Korean barbecue, and it's delicious. So you definitely eat way more than you ever thought you'd be able to eat. And we knocked it out, though, got it all done. It was a late night, but we dropped them off at the hotel, got an early start the next day, and headed up to Robert from – not Robert, I'm sorry. We headed up to Lucas's house, LRB's. Mike did a good tour video at Lucas's house. Only Lucas did the tour video for Mike. So it's really made it easy for Mike, because Mike was having a little bit of issue with the glare on some of Lucas's aquariums, but Lucas was just like, oh, let me just show you how it's done. And then he's like, I might as well just hold it and talk. And he went tank to tank to tank to tank to tank. I'm sure he skipped over some of them, but it seemed like he did the entire fish room. And then did the same for out back with all the ponds. I kind of worked one of the cameras and got background footage of them walking around the ponds. Lucas still went pond to pond to pond with Mike's phone. And then Mike went in with the GoPro. So it'll be interesting to see how he switches through all three of the different camera footage and, gets like some really good video out of what he did at Lucas's house. We also did a good amount of collecting on Lucas's ponds, pretty much hit every single one where we weren't going to fall into because of the basically quicksand or mud. It has been dry for the last year and a half. It's been raining recently, but not enough to fill the ponds back up to where they were. So if you weren't standing on fresh vegetation, you were going in the mud and starting to sink the further closer to the pond you got. So some of the ponds weren't accessible. One of the little ponds Lucas really wanted us to hit kind of dried up. So the birds, the raccoons, and cats probably got a feast. Or a good amount of those fish are probably dug down into the mud, and we'll come back the next time it rains. But I mentioned that Ray saved the day because after Lucas's house, we headed over to Robert's house, and totally blew me away. I didn't think he was going to have that much variety of fish, that many fish, that much setups, and for him to do it last second, I needed 3 weeks to prepare and get everything ready so that way I could be on top of things for when Mike got here. Robert answered me early in the morning as soon as I got the bad news that somebody else canceled, and totally took care of the latter half of our day for the plans. It was a little bit further drive, but I don't know if you know Robert from Ray Aquatics, but he's a great guy. Him and his wife, they're terrific. They're some of my favorite people to see at any of the shows. I'm happy that they're a Florida local, but they also get to travel. I'll see them this weekend at the Louisiana show. And yeah, they just took care of us, opened up their doors, and man, I saw some really cool fish. He's actually got my favorite plecos there, the cactus plecos with the red top fins. Man, if I ever got plecos, I'm buying them off of Robert, or I'm buying those off of Robert. I do have the false zebra plecos, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really care about them. I don't ever look at them. If I had Roberts, I would probably look at them all the time. I don't know what that noise was. One of the dogs must be being goofy. I get inspected by Florida Agriculture next Tuesday in order to start selling shrimp online. Um, you got to make sure that you also get your freshwater dealer's permit from Fish and Wildlife. Florida Agriculture is more like in case somebody eats your shrimp and gets sick from it, where Florida Fish and Wildlife is tropical fish selling if you want to sell to pet stores online and stuff like that. So make sure you get that one too. Back to me, I'm assuming. Um, so after Ray's house, though, and in between Lucas's house and Ray's house, we did do some collecting. It was my first time on the Swanee River. We've driven over it. I don't think I've ever been on a boat on it as a kid. I could be wrong, but I know as far as my memory is concerned, I have never actually fished or done anything particularly on the Swanee River. I know, like growing up, my mom had some friends that used to go scuba diving there, and they would look for like shark's teeth and arrowheads and other artifacts and stuff like that in the river. But it's pretty black water, so you gotta have a big knife with you in case you bump into a gator that you thought was a shark teeth and you pull on a gator tooth or something like that. That'd be a bad day waiting to happen. Um, we got skunked though. There was no fish. There wasn't any vegetation to run through. We went to one boat ramp. We followed a boat ramp sign just randomly because usually boat ramps are pretty good spots to go collecting. And I was not in my area. I never really been between that part of the middle of nowhere and that part of the middle of nowhere. Lucas and Ray both live out in the middle of nowhere, so we were hitting spots in between there, and probably won't go back to those spots unless maybe I have like a nice casting net or a seine net or something like that. But every state is different. But I know in Florida you need a freshwater dealer's permit from the Florida Fish and Wildlife. So we got skunked, and the fishing at Lucas's house wasn't the best. We got at least Achilles fish, just one single East Achilles fish, probably 100 gambusia. Like they're everywhere in Florida. They're quite aggressive. If they find their way into the water, they're pretty much going to be the most majority of the population in that pond. We did catch a good amount of flagfish, though. I think that had Lucas the most surprised was how many little tiny flagfish I was catching. No big ones, but a lot of good sized little ones. That's oxymoron. A lot of nice little ones, right? And then also some of the smaller sunfish, but the ones that grow bigger. I wasn't sure if they were bluegill or what kind of sunfish they were because they were a little bit smaller. I was going through like the duckweed and just the sticks on the shores and stuff like that. So not really in deep enough water to get some of the bigger ones to be able to ID them. But he did have some of the sunfish with the red tails, and off the top of my head, I can't remember which one those are. So Eduardo, can you repeat what license you need to? Oh man, I think like Shelby's just messing with me, and you guys are all messing with me, and she's gonna figure out how many times I'm gonna read that. So I ain't answering that one again. I'm not gonna fall for it. I feel like that was a trap. All right, so we got skunked on the Swanee River, and then after Robert's house, Shelby being 7 months pregnant, I wasn't going to be dragging her through all the collecting for the night. So I said, hey, man, instead of getting skunked and going to spots and wasting our time trying to find boat ramps that I don't know are exactly there, I think I got off topic on that. Like, we went way off the road trying to find a boat ramp, and the signs were not the best. We eventually found it, though, without taking any wrong turns. Don't know how that happened. Got super lucky, but still got skunked. So not that lucky, but it was a weird boat ramp, no parking. It was in between two houses. It was a public boat ramp, but not enough vegetation, and I wasn't trying to go into people's backyards where there was vegetation. So I told Shelby, I'll take you home. I told Mike, I know you really want to catch sailfin mollies. I've got a great spot. It's away from people where no one's going to give us any problems. And he had bought a 3-day Florida fishing license. I was like, dude, we got to put that thing to use, because like no one's going to mess with us on Lucas's property. Fishing game, fishing wildlife are not going to show up there. So, but where we went, you never know. One of the game wardens could have been out at the pier driving back, and then like, what are these people shining lights for? It is a popular spot to get blue crab. You can see that there was people there before us. There was fresh footprints there. So we had the headlights going out at dark and got him some really nice sailfin mollies. It's actually from the spot where we have the video posted. It's like 4 videos ago. The aquatic biotope aquascape. It's a good video. Didn't got a lot of views, so maybe you didn't see it, but it's a beautiful spot and a lot of diversity there. And Mike caught a massive Gulf killie. And back when the Bodrocks and Master Fish Breeder Dean and Anthony Mazaraw, and I think even Chris Biggs, we brought them all to the same location, and we were catching these what we thought were banded killies or marsh killies, but now I'm convinced they're all Gulf killies. Looking at them, because Mike caught a massive one, and yeah, it put everything into perspective. I think they're all Gulf killies in that little area. But it makes sense. It's in a little channel that goes out into the Gulf. We're legit. The flow depends on the tide. If the tide's coming in, the flow of the river goes reverse, and if the tide's going out, it's got a freshwater current and a little bit fresher than brackish or saltier at that time. Is there any difference in selling fish and shrimp online on the license? For sure, you have to have your Florida FWC freshwater dealer's permit. I think you need both, but one's more for like eating, where the other one is for pet stores. So I don't know what they say or describe as the main differences other than that. And then we have 2 different giveaways going on right now, and the first one is going to be the Dragonstone video that we just had posted. It is Shelby's Aquascape, and we have X amount of Dragonstone in that aquarium. I'm not going to tell you what size aquarium it is. You can go back and relook at past aquascapes, but whoever gets, 1 guess per person, no right answers yet. Whoever guesses the exact weight, the exact pound, I'm not going like X.XX. No, I'm just rounded number. I have it already. I know how much weight went into this tank exactly. Everybody always asks, Grant, how much Dragonstone do you think went into that? Well, now I know. We have the exact poundage that went into that aquarium. So whoever can guess that number will get a free box of Dragonstone shipped out to them. and it'll be a medium flat rate box of Dragonstone. So I'll get as much of it as I can in there. I'll give you some little detail Rubble Rock also. And basically go on that video and comment how much pounds of Dragonstone you think are in there. I'm not counting the golden. I'm horrible. This is why I need Shelby. The gold sunset sand, just the Dragonstone itself. So then the other giveaway, and because Shelby is not 100% this week, not to say she's going to be 100% next week either, because we are going to be traveling back on Sunday from Louisiana. I'm hoping maybe Monday, because she can just sleep through the entire day until the live stream and be spontaneous enough to do the giveaway for the boy or girl contest for the last live stream. Not live stream. I announced it on the last live stream. I'm sorry, I'm fumbling everywhere right now. Probably won't do the whole 2 hours tonight, but on the last live stream I announced we are having a kid, and whoever can guess the gender of the kid will get a special prize. We have the prize already picked out. You are going to get a group of either 10 red or blue shrimp of either Caridina or Neocaridina. The Caridina will be galaxies. So if it's a girl, you'll be able to get red galaxies. If it's a boy, you'll be able to get the black and blue galaxies. Or if it's if you want Neocaridina instead, you can do blue dreams or blue diamonds for a boy, or red cherries for a girl if you don't have the proper tank set up to do the Caridina. So what you have to do to enter for that one is go on, and also we are going to give away one of Sam Scales' prints that also goes with the theme of the gender of the baby too. So you get a little shrimp package there, maybe a little extra something special thrown in on top. But pretty much to enter in that one, you go to our last Aqua L video of the Shrimp Set 30 Nano Aquascape tank video, and put your guess on whether or not it's a boy or a girl. There have been people that have been guessing both. I guess that's okay too. I said there's no right answer, or no, that's for a different one, but you're wrong. I'm letting you know right now we're not having twins. Maybe that was too much info. I spoiled it. But that is one contest that we are doing as well. So we got two things going on. And then I'm not really going through all the chat. Maybe I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom and start catching up. I was hoping maybe Johnny from Dan's Fish would be in chat tonight, and I could ask him to have Dan send me an email at thegardenofeater@gmail.com, and I'd like to get Dan to come speak for our club. Mike had mentioned buying fish from Dan a couple of times, and it was during his talk, and I was like, why don't we have Dan come out here and do a talk as well? So I need to get Dan's info, or if anybody has some contact information for Dan, I'd appreciate that if you could send it to me. So Eduardo says he was the first. It's not about the first. So to enter, you're going to guess boy or girl, and then we are going to put all of the right answers into a hat, or I think Shelby already had like a what's it called? A file on the computer. So that way we can do something online with like a wheel or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. Shelby's not here to save me, so I have no clue. But we will be doing something like that. We'll be pulling all the right people into a bucket and then pulling from that to give them the group of fish and the SAM scales print. So I think that is all I really have on the agenda. I got another 5 minutes I at least wanted to kill. We are going to Louisiana this weekend. Tonight and tomorrow are going to be your last chances to get any pre-orders. So if anybody wants some special type of Caradina or anything like that, now is your time to let me know so we can bring that with us. It's not going to be a big show. I was talking with Robert, and he heard that they're only expecting like 250 people for this show. We're going to bring a good amount of plants, good amount of moss and stuff like that, because we do have Aquashella right around the corner. And, most of our plants and stuff like that, they hold up pretty easily. So Nate asked which vid for the Dragonstone video. It's one of the shorts, and it says how many pounds of Dragonstone do you think are in this vid or in this tank? So you sorry, I'm going through messages and stuff like that, making sure I'm not missing anything. They're old. I already hit it. So yeah, it's like the last short I think we posted. I could be wrong though. No, it is. It is the last short that we posted, and it's only got 8 guesses right now. So it could be a massive aquarium. It could be a tiny aquarium. You never know. So make a good educated guess, and if you're right, you can win a box of Dragonstone. I'm not sure how many pounds of Dragonstone I can get in a box either. So this will be fun. All right. Thank you, Zen Ginger. Eduardo, I'm not sure why you're not a mod. You can be a mod if you want. If Shelby's able to do that from her end, I'm not on my phone on YouTube to do that for you, but I have no problem with that being a mod. Probably are now. Anybody else have any questions, anything like that? I don't think I have anything else to update. Really, the house tour and cleaning and everything like that went smoothly. I'm happy that I don't have to worry about doing any like hard maintenance for a while. I can get back from Louisiana, and I've got like 4 to 5 days that I can knock out Layla's and Jaden's room, and really I could probably do their rooms all in one day if I wanted to really knock it out. So I don't see anything else on chat. We got another 2 minutes to kill. And then Stephen P. Yeah, so not sure how late we are going to get in Thursday night, but I figured I'll message you on Thursday when we're heading up and give you an ETA on when we'd be getting to the hotel. And if it's not too late, maybe we can go get ice cream or find something towards your house or do something like that. And then Friday and Saturday, I believe, is like show stuff. And then Sunday, we pretty much have the whole day to do whatever. But I did see that Clay posted something about behind the scene tickets to the aquarium. So I was going to hit him up and see if I couldn't purchase those like full price and not have to wait for them to go into the auction, unless they were like the first thing to go into the auction. If they were the first thing, then I'll stay for that. I'll win those, and then I'll take the kids to the auction because it's a 4-pack tickets to the local aquarium and some behind the scenes, which we've done for the Pittsburgh aquarium, and the kids got to feed the sea turtles and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. How big of a family are y'all hoping for eventually? Well, this is not the last one, I'll tell you that much, but there's a little bit of dispute on whether or not we're going to have 5 or only 4 kids between me and Shelby. So, but we've always wanted at least 2 more. So that is for sure. I don't know what local aquarium. Maybe it was the Louisiana Aquarium, and I had to do some driving. But I mean, when you're already doing 10 hours to get to Louisiana, what's another like hour of driving to get to their aquarium for the day? So unless there's something else that you'd recommend that the kids would enjoy more, then Nancy B said a 4-pack ticket to your house, Steven. That's funny. Yeah, I guess the New Orleans. Oh, Shelby's bringing them up, and I'm bringing them down. That's what's going on. Yeah, 90 minutes away. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into it and see if it's worth it or how much it's going to cost or whatever. But we'll ask Layla. In the end, it's going to be her choice. She will be the boss for the entire weekend. The only thing she will not have control of is when I do my talk. So that's set in stone. We've pretty much been planning this talk for like 2 years. Well, not quite 2 years, but since the first time we went to Aquafest. But because it is around that time of the year, it was Layla's decision. So, all right, guys. I don't have my better half here. I am exhausted. It has been a week and a half, but I wanted to talk about the shrimp contest. I wanted to run it through. Want to give it a little bit of promotion. Hopefully, it helped you guys out. Walked you guys through some of the stuff, and you guys have any other questions, anything like that, don't feel scared to reach out or anything like that. So, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. And also, I forgot to mention, you have until tonight or tomorrow at some time to get your guesses in on whether or not it's a boy or a girl. Because once the gender reveal video is posted, you can't put your guesses in anymore. So go ahead, place your guesses, and tomorrow or the next day, maybe. I don't want to make any promises, but Shelby wants it to go out tomorrow. She's the boss. It'll go out tomorrow, and everybody will know the gender of the baby, so that way we can make some more plans and whatnot moving forward. So thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.